Hello. You guys are all just joining literally a few minutes too late because when I clicked on, I caught Dr. Jen in heavy breathing. So that was pretty exciting, I have to say. I'm so excited to bring my great friend, Dr. Jennifer, with us today. And we are going to talk about exactly what the super fast crawler is going through. It's kind of interesting with Be Live because sometimes I can barely get that crawler going. Other times it's like 10x. And this lady has definitely 10x'd her life. So I would say the speed of the crawler is right on. What do you think, Jen? Is that accurate?
The last year and a half has been pretty quick. Yeah, it's flown by.
Hair on fire. So let's go to a year ago because a year ago is about when you joined the boot camp. And where were you then in relationship to now? Let's start there. And hey, when you join us, like say hello or give us a heart or a wow or something and let us know you're in the audience because if you're somebody who does Facebook Lives, you know how good it feels to have somebody in the audience. And if you haven't done them yet and you're going to start doing them, do them regardless of what you look like, regardless of the fact that you know you want to lose 10 pounds or 50 pounds or whatever. Get started because then people get to see the journey. But don't keep waiting for the perfect time because, like the Damon John quote that I posted, there's never a perfect time. So make perfect on your time. And that means do the thing that you know you've been putting off. So, Jen, let's talk about where were you a year ago?
I was doing exactly what you just described in Damon's quote. I was bored and didn't have a whole lot of connections and colleagues, and I was just paying bills and being a single mom. I was bored.
Ooh, I'm going to have to write some of that down. I was, because you know what? How many people was bored and just paying the bills? Why?
I don't know why. I was being lazy, I guess, and I needed more in life. And your name just kept coming up and coming up, and I finally did it for some reason. And we set up a call, and it's been 10x whirlwind ever since. So it's been fun, and the connections and the camaraderie, the community. That whole saying that it takes a community. You can apply that to every aspect of your life, I think, and I really learned that here.
What do you mean? Because there are lots of communities.
Well, there was a lack of community for me, I think, in the chiropractic world. And I'm in Phoenix, so there's a chiropractor on every corner, if not two or three. Yeah. And I think that it's a very male-dominated society here, a very PI-driven society, and that's not the way I practice. I have a family practice, and I think that being able to reach out in the boot camp, you don't have just Mama Barb, you have 300 other chiropractors who are women going through the same thing. And at least 20 to 50 of them will reach out when you post an issue that you have in the Facebook, and they'll say, hey, here's what I did, or hey, I gotcha, I've done this before. Or you'll get a private message, or you'll get a phone number that says, hey, call me. You don't just get Mama Barb in the boot camp. You get everybody. You get a whole community.
So let's talk about though, and if you lower your volume on your end, there won't be that weird feedback.
Oh, I don't hear it. Thank you.
Yeah. So there are lots of private Facebook groups. I mean, there are lots of Facebook groups, right? Where you ask a question and people answer it. What's different though about that same process in the boot camp?
People are more personable, I think, because you can private message them and get an answer back. You'll get a phone number, you'll get an email, you'll get, hey, that's in the Dropbox. I already did that. Go look over there. You'll get immediate
right there.
Immediate
that's
action.
In the Dropbox. Tell us about that.
The Dropbox is a magical place that you go to for projects that people have already done and are willing to share, and you can put your own name on them. and alter them and put them back in the Dropbox, because the way you altered them may be what someone else needs. It is a treasure box.
It is a treasure box. I 100% agree with that. You know, I just posted, I don't know if you caught the Rachel Hollis. I posted a link to an interview that she did. Actually, I don't remember if it was the interview or the training. And she was talking about going deep versus wide, and how important it is to go deep versus wide. And one of the reasons I had to post this in there is because I'm times that you guys are like, oh my gosh, Dr. Barb, can you say something different? You just keep saying the same thing over and over about how important it is to choose your niche, and how important it is to dominate your niche, and how important it is to build those relationships. And it's like she was reading my script, because she just like said the same thing of how important it is to grow the community, grow your community. And growing your community isn't just that, like, here's you and your practice, and you're the one that has to service everybody. That's exhausting. And so what Jen is talking about, what Sarah just wrote about, is that, okay, yes, I'm the one that started it, one by one by one. Like, I literally, every single person who's in the boot camp, I talked to before they ever joined. Every single one. No one is in there just because they clicked. I talked to every single one of them. And so she was talking about how important it is to grow that, right? And because there's a screening process, right? Just like in practice, we don't just open, I hope you don't just open your door to every single person, that you know, these are the people that I'm best suited to serve, right? Like I'm not a jack of all trades, master of none. These are the people I'm best suited to serve. So I bring them in, I grow. And then it replicates and it replicates and it replicates. And that is what a community is. So that now the community in the boot camp is like this. Everyone serves and helps each other, so that the core person in practice, you, the doctor, doesn't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. How have you taken those concepts, Jen, and put them into your practice so that your practice just keeps growing and growing and growing until, like, most people go shopping over Labor Day weekend for a new hose, and you're preparing to go shopping for a new cabin?
Yeah. So in the boot camp and in the masterminds and the seminars and wherever you go now, you're going to run into, hey, I'm in the boot camp too, and let's meet up when we're there. And you're going to run into that. So you're getting to know more people on quite an intimate level, I think. And some of these people will point out, hey, you need to take this seminar. This is going to do it for you. Or you need to come with me and do this, that, or the other thing. You're guided, because we're all such highly tuned in people now. And I think that that's helped me a lot too, because when you sign on for all of this and you know you want to be better and you know you want to 10x your whole world, everything is here. All those resources are right here in the boot camp. You have, I don't know, self-help programs that are accessible to you and are phenomenal. They've already been weeded out. You're not running around to all these self-help places to try and figure it out. You're not running around to financial institutions and trying to figure out how to manage your money, because this has never been in your world before and you don't have anyone to ask. All these taboo subjects are just, everything's taken off the table and just laid out on a platter for you. Take advantage of it, go through it, do the work. And because it's you're doing it for you, or me, I'm doing it for my little girl so she can see a successful mom. It's not work. You're just doing it and you're enjoying it and you're loving it. And that's how you grow.
Nice. I love that. And that's really the whole focus of the Women's Chiropractic Leadership Summit, October the 26th at Life University. We as a group of women, and it's definitely going to have the boot camp feel, because that's like the boot camp is an extension of who I am, and the women that have been attracted into the boot camp, they are badass female chiropractors who are instinctively successful, who refuse to consent to the narrative that because we work, that our children aren't as loved, because that we have a career, that our children are missing out on things in life. We refuse to buy into that narrative. And so instead, we collect together at the Women's Chiropractic Leadership Summit to discuss how do we do that? To embrace, like, we're not alone. You're not alone in this journey. If if a girl's night out in your mind is like working late to change other people's lives, you're coming to the right place. So Jen, talk about what was your experience last year at the Women's Chiropractic Leadership Summit, and why does every woman watching right now, why must they make a commitment to be there? Like, move other things off your platter and be there.
So a year ago, this was my first event with any of the boot campers. And I got on that plane to Atlanta thinking, oh my gosh, like, everybody can type a response in a Facebook page and sound loving and great and not catty and drama filled or any of that, right? Anybody can do that. Oh my gosh, my butt's on the plane. I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to meet all these girls, and I don't know if they're really like this. Holy cow. People opened up their homes so we could stay there. People fed us. People took us out for wine. I mean, the connections that you made are 10X doesn't do its justice. Because you can make all those great comments in Facebook, but feeling all of that at the same time, all together in your summit, Dr. Barb, was amazing and life-changing. And those are the first connections personally I really made in the boot camp. There really, I think at that time, there was only one other person in Arizona in the boot camp at that time, and they're far away. So going to this summit will change your life. It will help you to 10X your world, and you will make connections that are lifelong. Mm-hmm. You have to go to do that. You have to be in Atlanta to get that. Nice. And that's why I'm giving back, to make sure someone, because a year ago, that was hard for me to make that decision, to take that money out of my budget to go and do this in Atlanta for a weekend. And I am willing to help someone to do that who's in that same position as I was last year, so that they can be where I am now this year, next year, or sooner. Do it faster. Run, break things. Isn't that what you say, Barb?
Yeah, go fast and break things. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love that. And that's like, we don't just talk about gratitude, and we don't just talk about generosity in the boot camp. It's like, it just flows through everyone. Like the Divas and Goddesses of Chiropractic Give Back that happened in July, there were 7 or 8 women that stepped up and said, I think actually it was even more than that, like, I want to donate tickets. I want to donate tickets. And then now for the Women's Chiropractic Leadership Summit, I want to donate tickets. I want to donate tickets. I want to sponsor another student. I want to sponsor another woman. And it's just a reflection of living life in abundance versus living life in scarcity. And I'm so thankful. So thank you for wanting to pay it forward. Thank you for wanting to pour into another woman. And if you're watching now and you want to be joining us at the Women's Chiropractic Leadership Summit, October the 26th, at Life University, it's really a fun weekend. So we start on Friday night, October the 25th, from 6:30 to 8, and we have a special VIP dinner. And then from 8 to 9 is our pails ceremony. So talk about the pails ceremony last year and what that meant for you. And for those of you who don't know, October is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. And so we are honoring those lives that are with us, whether that's from miscarriage or abortion or infertility. And we did it as a candlelight ceremony last year. We're going to do it as that again this year. I really had no idea how that was going to turn out. And what was your experience, Jen? That
was hard for me. Very hard. I don't know that there's a whole lot more I can say about that. It's touching and it's rampant in the community in general, let alone in the chiropractic community. And I think that everyone was very grateful and thankful that that happened, that that was honored.
You know what's been interesting when I've been making the like all of the plans at the Hyatt for our hotels and for the dinner, I've mentioned like this is what I want to have happen from 8 to 9, and every woman at the Hyatt that I've said that to, they're like, "Could I come?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." Like it's for we as women to celebrate together. And I have to be honest, like it was pretty naive. I didn't realize how many women who've had miscarriages that like they're almost not ashamed but feel so alone in that. Like I didn't know. I haven't walked in that line, and I haven't walked in that, but it really, like, I was just amazed at how many women shared their experience last year and said, like, I've never told this to anybody. And so I just like, so that's another reason to come, is for the Pales ceremony on Friday night from 8 to 9 at the Hyatt Regency. There is a VIP dinner. If you want to find out about that, you can message me and I'll tell you how you get a ticket to that. Then on Saturday, we kick it off at 8 a.m. For the Women's Chiropractic Leadership Summit. What did you think about how it wasn't like a typical convention? It was, explain what we're talking about.
Usually, in my experience anyway, when you go to a CEU seminar and you're sitting there all day long, you're dying. You're just sitting there and you're dying and you're trying to take in some information to bring back to your practice. Yes, and you're pulling your hair out just like that. And then when you're done, your hair looks like that because you're just exhausted. No, you're energized. You're even during the breakouts, you're adjusting each other, or you're eating your food and you're still talking shop. It's energizing. It is not, you talk about it being a 12-hour day. It didn't feel like it.
It was actually 7 a.m. and we were still there till 8:30. And I remember like having to tell everybody, okay, let's be back at the hotel. So, I mean, it was just like throughout the day, I felt like everyone just got closer and closer and closer and closer. And then of course we all went back to the hotel lobby and like took over the hotel lobby afterwards. So as we wrap up, what do you say to the woman who is like, oh, you know what? I've seen the ads and, I don't know. What do you say to her? Like what?
Yeah. There's a reason you're seeing the ads.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
You have to pay attention to the signs.
There you go. You got to pay attention and just click and come. Like come, it's like it just doesn't get any easier. And if you haven't been to an event that I have put on, and I am going to say I'm really good at this, come. You are for sure missing out. And there's a reason that the women in the boot camp post the testimonials that they do, and that their practices and their personal lives are exploding in greatness and abundance. It's because of what happens in the boot camp, and it can start for you at the summit. So stop thinking about it. Nothing changes in your life because you're thinking. It doesn't happen. It would be like the practice member who's like, I'm thinking about scheduling an appointment in your office. And then you see him again in a month. You know what? I'm really thinking about it. Meanwhile, they get sicker and sicker and sicker. So take massive action. Grab your ticket. Come to the Women's Chiropractic Leadership Summit. Grab a VIP ticket. Listen, I am so confident that the VIP Mastermind with Mike Michalowicz is going to blow your mind. I have given you a satisfaction guarantee. That means at the end, If you don't feel like you got your money's worth, come up, either say something to me or say something to Mike, and I promise you I will cut you a check. That's how confident I am. And if you wait until after September 15th to buy your ticket for the summit or for the VIP, it's going to cost you twice as much. So get your ticket now. So Jen, I know you got to see practice members in 1 minute. What's your last words to anyone watching now or watch later?
If not now, then when? Who said that? Somebody said that.
I think so many people have said that, actually. Lots and lots and lots. If not now, when? At some point, you're going to make the decision to come, so you might as well just like get it over with, buy your ticket, and get involved in all of the fun that we're even having before we get there. So Jen, thank you so much. Congratulations for triumphing and persevering and happy cabin shopping.
Thank you.
Love you. See ya.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.